Hello everyone and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm your host Todd Blackstock. We have a great show for you today as we will have in studio the owner and general manager of the St. Louis Surge, Khalia Collier. The women's semi-pro basketball team here in St. Louis is about to really jam out this season. Also, the CEO of Football U, Sterling Finney, will join us to discuss his new revolutionary program, which is inspiring student athletes to achieve greatness on the field and in the classroom. Plus, we are on the scene at the Edward Jones Dome as Steven Jackson surpassed the 10,000-yard mark of his career. We have classic footage of Jackson departing the field after the Rams' last home game in 2012. So stay with us for this and much more coming up next on Inside Sports. And welcome to the show. Our first guest today was a standout quarterback at Hazelwood Central. He was an All-American in college at Culver Stockton and attended tryouts to several NFL teams. Currently, he's an assistant coach at Francis Howell and is the CEO of Football U. At this time, we'd like to welcome Sterling Finney to Inside Sports. Sterling, thanks a lot for taking time out.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I remember, it's been, I guess, back in the mid-'90s when you went to Hazelwood Central. I mean, perennial power. I went to West. You guys beat us twice in my sophomore and junior year to go to state. Now, Hazelwood Central continues that tradition in North County, and the Suburban North Conference is always one of the toughest ones in the state. And you were a starting quarterback at Hazelwood Central, so, I mean, you were in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of athletes in North County. Hazelwood Central gets a lot of them. And so, they're always competitive from year in and year out. That was, growing up, I loved, playing football. And, to go to Hazelwood Central, was actually, just a good treat, man, to go, to go there and to compete on a high level. You had
some pretty good coaches. Was Ryan the head coach at the time?
Norm Ryan was. He was the head coach.
And a friend of mine who's been several times in Inside Sports, the current coach of Webster Groves, Cliff Ice, was your offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And you guys, I remember, I don't know if it was a playoff game, but I think you were playing against Brian Lewis at Hazelwood Central. I mean, those guys had their headsets on, and they were, talking to the guys in the booth, and you were the quarterback running around. It was pretty high tech, and that was, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, there was a lot of blue chip athletes in that game. Very competitive again. Brian Lewis is actually one of my good friends, and so is his brother. And, Coach Ice is a mentor of mine now that I coach. He was always a good friend, tutored me, through life, through high school and, the things not to do and what to do. And so, like I said, anytime I got any questions as far as on the coaching aspect, I'm able to pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah, I'm sure they're right there for you as well. Now, having success at Hazelwood Central, a broad program, it seems like you would have a pretty good chance to go play college. Did you get some looks for some major colleges? Because you ended up playing at Culver Stockton and somewhere else.
Well, I initially started at Missouri Western. The issue that I had good grades, but I didn't have the ACT score, which, you have to have both in order to play major college football. So talent-wise, I was definitely good enough to play at a major college level. But as far as having the minimum requirements or the requirements that you needed to have in order to play at a major college level, I didn't have.
Now, you had some success in college, too. I believe you're an All-American at Culver Stockton. You had some acclimates. Then it was time for draft time. Then what happens?
Well, like you said, I did pretty well at Culver Stockton. And actually, I was supposed to go to the Vikings. I actually had talked to Scott Linehan on the phone, and I was supposed to go and go to camp with the Minnesota Vikings at the time. That's where he was, and it just didn't work out. I didn't really find out a rhyme or reason as to why it didn't, but nevertheless, I wasn't able to be picked.
Now, you didn't get picked. You did mention grades. At some point, you went on and you were coaching at Maplewood, and now you're a coach at Francis Howell. You guys went to the state tournament this year, finished as a runner-up in state. Congratulations. How did all that kind of come to fruition before we get to Football U?
Well, I had a buddy, Brandon Gregory, who ended up becoming a head coach at Maplewood. And like I said, we're real good friends, and he knew that I had inspired to be a coach, somewhere down the line. And so he gave me a call when he accepted the head coaching job. And I fell in love with, coaching ever since. And so I've been coaching,
Now, are you coaching and you teaching as well, or just a coach for now?
I'm not in the building. I'm just coaching at this time. I'm actually looking to get in the building at this point.
Well, fantastic. Well, one thing that you've done that's really awesome is you started this program called Football U. And it seems like you're trying to use some of your experience, on the gridiron and through the schools and connections to start Football U. And can you tell us about your new program that's going on here and, some of the success you're having?
Absolutely. It's a non-for-profit organization that works with kids on the field and off the field. We're partnered with a resource called Princeton Review, which is known around the St. Louis area for helping kids on an ACT and a SAT prep basis and even general tutoring. So for instance, if a kid needs to strengthen up one of their core subjects in reference to getting a higher test score, that's what that resource is there for.
Now, I guess that hits close to home because you said you had pretty good grades in high school, but you didn't have an ACT score that was quite there. So now you're giving back to these kids and you're showing them how to improve that ACT score. That's amazing.
Absolutely. I feel like, who better to teach these kids than somebody who has actually experienced the things that I'm trying to teach the kids. And so, like I said, I was very intelligent. I had probably about close to a 3.0 core GPA, but for some reason when I would get to the ACT, I would just get brain locked.
Sometimes it's the way you take the test. If
Absolutely.
you spend too much time on one math problem, you could miss 5 questions you knew the answer to.
And in retrospect, there's a strategic way that you can approach the test that will help you in turn score, higher. I didn't have much tutoring as far as practice tests and things like that. So, I didn't score high enough to, in order to play major college football.
So if someone wants to attend Football U, what do they need to do?
Basically, they can go to the website, stlfootballu.com. You can go to YouTube and look at our tidbit on there. We have a little commercial on there, STL Football U. And
That's a great website, yeah.
Thank you. It has all the information, that's needed. Have our phone number on there, the address, what you need to do, what you need to bring, and so forth and so on.
One thing I was reading through your brochure, I really liked it, when you're talking about mechanics and things like that, showing the kids how to play. How important is it, to use and show these kids the mechanics? Because they could have all the ability in the world, but if their mechanics aren't right, they're not going to go anywhere.
Well, being a high school coach, we get kids all the time that, were all-star athletes in Little League, and by the time they come to us, we hear all about this kid, and then, mechanically, they need help. And so, we see it all the time where kids come that are, athletically gifted, but mechanically, they need to be up to the high school level, which in some cases it can take 1 or 2 years depending on the child.
Now, it looks like you have an all-star group of coaches helping out. Who are some of the other guys helping you out with Football U?
Brandon Gregory is player personnel. He deals with, all the ins and outs of, all the direction in which we're going. And we have Corey Lewis, who is Brian Lewis' brother. We have Darrell Jones, who was an all-star at McClure North. We have Robert Franklin, who was an all-star at Melville. Milton Proctor, who was another guy that was on the state title team at Hazelwood Central. And so we have a host of guys, that have played at a high level, even in high school, and, even took it further than that, such as college.
We got about a minute left. What's the most important thing you want to convey to our viewers right now about the importance of football U, or when the best time, when the camp takes place, or if it's an ongoing thing?
It starts in March, the first week of March, and I would say, just give us a shot. Give us a shot to help your kid on the field and off the field. And I think you'd definitely be happy with the results.
Before I let you go, there's other football camps and things like this. Before I let you go, what separates your camp and your football U here from all the others?
Well, definitely, we promote the student athlete. We're not just concerned with the kids in reference to what they do on the field, but we are equally as concerned about what they do off the field, because we as an organization, we understand that it's what they do off the field that's going to carry them through life. And so, we show up to the kids' games. It's an exciting time for us. A lot of the guys that work with us, they're coaches, and so this is something that they love to do. And when you do things that you love to do, it's not a job to you. Mm-hmm. And so the kids can feel that off of you, and we have a great time on Saturdays.
All right, well, fantastic. Well, thanks a lot, Sterling, for joining us. And one more time, the website.
STLFootballU.com.
STLFootballU.com. Well, check it out, folks. And kids, if you want to play football at the next level, this is a way to go. All right, appreciate it, Sterling.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take a break now, but stick around for more Inside Sports after this. The Missouri Valley Tournament is one of the most exciting events in St. Louis each year. Thousands of fans from around the Midwest purchase tickets to the Scott Trade Center to support their schools. Lots of merchandise is sold, along with lots of food and cold beverages. This event is a boon for the local economy, and we had a chance to discuss this year's tournament with the commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference, Doug Elgin. Doug, what a great tournament once again. Great excitement, great attendance. What's your take on this year's tournament?
I think it's a great, perfect outcome here in the final with the two top seeds. You want that to happen at a neutral site where your better teams advance, and I think we're in a position now, two teams in the NCAA tournament.
With Creighton winning the regular season tournament or championship, would you prefer like a Wichita State to win this game here today so they get an automatic bid, because you think Creighton might already be in?
I don't think we prefer an outcome today, but I do think that what we're seeing are the best two teams in the Valley for sure.
The games were exciting and intense. And right now we're going to take a look at some of the sights and sounds from the tournament and some great action. Creighton won the tournament for the second straight year and basked in the glory of victory in front of thousands of fans. NCAA All-American Doug McDermott was named tournament MVP for the second straight year, and I had a chance to chat with him on the court during the celebration.
It's really surreal, and we're not done yet, though. We can't celebrate too long. We still got a lot of work to do and a lot of stuff we want to accomplish. So we're really excited, but we're going to get back to work when we get back.
Despite the great success Creighton has enjoyed in the Missouri Valley, they're considering leaving the conference to join an all-Catholic power conference out east. Now, if you read the Post-Dispatch this week, it seems like it's imminent that Creighton might be departing for the Catholic Conference. If that happens, then you would be looking for another school. Would Southeast Missouri be an option? 100 miles south, 12,000 attendance, a great alumni base here in St. Louis?
They got a lot of pluses, of course, but we still have 10 members. There's no certainty in our minds that we're going to lose a member. And if we do, our President's Council will make all those decisions.
With do you have any attendance figures for this year? I know there's a huge Creighton following. It says 6,000, but it seems like more like 10 today.
We had a second all-time large crowd yesterday in the semifinals. We had 18,000 and change. Right now, we don't have the count yet for today, but we will probably end up with the second biggest all-session attendance with this tournament.
Despite the fact that Creighton Blue Jays have won more Missouri Valley tournaments than any other team in the MVC, they might be leaving, joining other schools in the Big East to form a Catholic power conference. But what do the Creighton Blue Jays fans have to say? Let's take a look.
some of the old rivalries that we've had in the Valley will be missed, obviously, because there's so many good teams. Everybody's had a good turn at it. We'll miss all that stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This could be the last tournament for Creighton. We'll see.
Well, you know what? I love St. Louis, but my number one passion and support are for the Jays. So if we're moving to the Big East, then let's go Jays. But either way, I will be a fan until I die. So
if we do move to a different conference, I just hope that our fans travel well with us, because it is definitely a lot further east than what we're used to. But hopefully that our fans will follow us.
Now, if the tournament moves to like New York or somewhere on the East Coast, will you guys still try to go?
Oh, probably not. That's too far of a trip. Obviously, that's a downfall if they do move. Without coming to St. Louis. So.
2 years in a row winning it in St. Louis. What will you remember about St. Louis, especially if you guys change conferences?
Just the fan support, everyone travels so well, and to do it here, the Scott Trade Center, a place I've been coming ever since I was little, it's pretty special.
Hypothetical question, since Greg McDermott's Doug's dad, and say Doug got a 4.0 this semester, could Greg buy him a car?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That good question. I haven't had that one. Yeah, he's his daddy, so he can do whatever he wants, of course. But I think he's a good student, so I'm flabbergasted. I don't know how to answer that, but yeah, he could buy him a car, sure.
Okay, I just didn't know if being the coach in the school superseded being a parent.
He can also buy him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So.
Doug, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. I'm Todd Blackstock. Well, joining us now is a woman who excelled in basketball, track, and golf at Fort Zumwalt South. She played college basketball at Columbia College and Missouri Baptist, and now she's the owner and general manager of the St. Louis Surge. At this time, we'd like to welcome Khaliah Collier to Inside Sports. Khaliah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're now the owner of the women's professional semi-pro basketball team, but let's take it back a step or two, back to high school. I'm sure growing up, you must have loved sports. You played 3 sports in high school at Fort Zumwalt, and so sports has been involved in your life, I guess, your whole life.
I picked up a basketball when I was 5 years old. My dad was my first coach.
Now, growing up, I assume in St. Charles County or out near O'Fallon, you got involved with sports in the organized level. What was it about Fort Zumwalt South and playing basketball? And were you trying to further your career in sports, or were you maybe going for the college education?
It was a combination of both. Started off in St. Peter's in elementary, so it was nice. I was with all my friends. We had a great career coming out in South. We had 2 back-to-back, first and only district titles in South history. So it's nice to kind of go back and jog some memories a little bit. And it's in my blood.
So after graduating, you went on and went to Columbia College, I understand, and you ended up finishing up at Missouri Baptist, and it wasn't on a basketball or track scholarship, was it?
No. Many people didn't know I played golf in high school. My dad was a big advocate for me learning the sport, and I wasn't too happy about it in the beginning, and now it's one of my favorite things to do.
Hitting the links on the weekend is always a great thing.
It is. It's more relaxing than basketball.
So now, I guess back in 2011, you decided to take control of the St. Louis Surge, the women's semi-pro basketball team. How did that all come about, and what made you interested?
Season and opportunity. Just wanting to always be a part of basketball here and never having a place to go in St. Louis. And when the opportunity crossed my path, it was a no-brainer. To be able to market and pick UMSL as our central location, I was able to recruit out of my own peer base, which was a huge help with the star players that we had this past season. And we're ready for 2013.
STL TV was on hand for your opening game at UMSL, and
yes.
Looks like that was a great day for you, and you had a really good season last year. I mean, I think there's something like 60 teams in the league, and you guys had a lot of great success last year.
We did. We finished number 2 in the nation, and STL TV was there to capture our home opener. We ended up having a little over 1,200 people. It was a great turnout for our first game.
Now, the league is the WBCBC, which is the Women's Blue Chip Basketball League. Now, they've been there since, I guess, 2008. Can you describe the level of competition in the WBCBC?
It's actually the WBCBL.
Right.
And the the foundation of the league is players that are Division I athletes, Division II athletes, and it's a combination. It's women who've been playing for, fresh out of college, who are still in their game, from ranging all the way to 35 and sometimes 40. So it's literally the best of the best.
So how do you get your players? I know you've got probably a pretty good talent pool here in the St. Louis metropolitan area, but I'm sure you have to go outside to recruit as well.
We do. We have tryouts. We actually had tryouts about a month and a half ago, and we signed 4 players, and we're going to release all of those dates and players that are coming out in our press conference. We're really excited about it. And so this year is going to be different. Our team was home-based, and now we have a lot of players relocating to join the Surge this year.
Oh, okay, so last year it was predominantly St. Louis area players. Now you were second, so I guess if you want to get to first, you got to get a couple more blue chippers around the way. But is there anybody you want to mention in particular from last year's team that might be coming back, or
yes,
a couple new people that you're real excited about?
Very excited about Jaleesa Butler from Georgetown University. She was a complete all-star, came out with 28 points in her first game, and just her athleticism coming back in 2013 is going to be bigger and better. We have a couple of new recruits that I'm very excited about, one from Memphis, one from New Orleans, who is going to be a show to watch.
So you're going to have your spring training and all that stuff coming up. I know you have a lot of neat events, and May 4th is a huge day, folks. Put that on your calendar.
I'm so excited. May 4th, 7 o'clock home opener. I can't say it enough. The potential that we had this past year was great, to finish number 2 in the nation, but to restructure, relaunch for next year is what we're going for.
That's amazing, finishing number 2 in the nation. At UMSL, they've got a nice venue there. The Rivermen play there and have nice crowds. And your attendance last year, it seemed to gain throughout the year. And towards the end of the year, you were bringing in a lot of bodies into the UMSL arena.
It did. It was really exciting to see the St. Louis community come out and support us. And it started with kids. Our first home opener, it took the players right at 45 minutes to sign autographs, and that was kind of the tear in my eye, because that's what we're doing it for. It's for all the young girls and young men, and it was nice. It just built momentum each game. As I said, we started with 1,200 people, and we finished with a little over 2,600 at the end of the season.
Now, who are some of the top teams in your league, and who are some of the biggest challenges you'll face in order to try to take the championship this year?
We definitely can't wait to take a stab back at New Orleans, who beat us in the championship. We led the entire game and ended up losing by 10. Miami is always a great contender. Ohio, Kansas City Nuggets actually beat us 3 times this past season, and so we're ready to see them again on the court.
Fantastic. Now, you do a lot of other things outside of being the owner and general manager of the Surge. You're involved actually with the Gateway Classic Sports Foundation as well, and they've got a big anniversary coming up this year.
Oh, it is so excited around the Classic right now. We just finished our holiday toy drive, which was a huge success. Over 400 kids. Nellie was the guest appearance and helped all the kids pick out their toys. And the 20th anniversary, if you have not been to the Gateway Classic Sports Foundation, this is the year to go. It is Central State, Ohio, and Tennessee State coming together. It's going to be a show to watch.
Now, I know you want to get sponsors for the Surge. That's a very important thing. You probably want to get some volunteers, and you want to sell a lot of season tickets. So what can you tell our viewers out there right now about getting excited about the St. Louis Surge, and why should someone want to come out and support your team?
Well, it's history in the making. We are the first women's basketball team here in over 20 years, and we are so excited to be a part of the community and just stay engaged. We always need volunteers. We're always looking for help, especially as the summer. It's a great atmosphere for you to check out a game, and you don't have to go 5 hours away to catch a women's game. And on top of it, sponsorship dollars are huge. We're in the process of closing out our budget and really just getting that support of any corporate dollars or small businesses is what we target. It's worth it.
Now, do you have a website or some numbers that you can give us, maybe some email addresses if someone wants to check out your site, because you guys have a really cool website and there's a lot of neat things on there.
I am so excited about our website. We just relaunched, and it's only going to get better from here. stlsurgebasketball.com. We are driving everyone to our website. If you want to know more about us, you want to know about season tickets, they go on sale February 1st, and they are only $49.99.
All right, we got about a minute left. Is there anything else you want to tell us about yourself or the St. Louis Surge to get people excited? Because I'm getting excited. I can't wait for May 4th to come around and come out and check your team out. I mean, the sky's the limit.
It is. 2013 is our year. And to actually make an imprint here in St. Louis is going to be huge because people are going to come out. We build momentum. We built momentum every game, and I'm excited to see. We're looking to pack out UMSL. So we're telling people, get your tickets early. They go on sale February 1st. This event will sell out.
It will sell out, and you guys are going to dominate this year.
It is. So for those who want a season ticket, it's completely worth it. $49.99, premium seating, premium parking, and access to the hospitality suite. It's a no-brainer.
Well, that sounds fantastic, and I know you've got a big show slated for May 4th, and a couple of big celebs are going to be out there I know you want to discuss.
Oh, yeah. For those who are planning to attend, it's going to be quite a show. May 4th, 7:05 is our tip-off. We have 5 legendary women that we are honoring during halftime, and it is quite a big deal. You don't want to miss it.
All right, Khaliah, thank you very much, and
Thank you,
continued
Todd.
success. Looking forward to that championship. Okay, well, Steven Jackson is one of the greatest running backs in St. Louis Rams history. Our Inside Sports crews were behind the scenes as the Rams completed their 2012 season against Adrian Peterson and the Minnesota Vikings. Let's take a look. Steven Jackson will go down as one of the all-time great St. Louis Rams. He was drafted in the first round in 2004 to eventually replace an aging Marshall Faulk. He was named the team's Rookie of the Year. Jackson had his breakthrough year in 2006, gaining 1,528 yards rushing. He also caught 90 passes for over 800 yards receiving with 16 combined touchdowns. Jackson made 3 Pro Bowls, was named All-Pro twice, and led the NFC in rushing in 2009. Steven stated that he wanted to remain a Ram and even hinted at retirement after the Rams let him out of his contract for 2013. In 2012, our Inside Sports crew were on hand as he passed the 10,000 yards rushing mark against the Minnesota Vikings in what would be his last home game in St. Louis. After the game, we shadowed him from the post-game prayer with Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson. Analyzing his body language as he slowly made his way off the field made me doubt his return as he soaked up what would be these last moments with Rams fans. I followed him into the tunnel and saw him embracing longtime usher Gabriella. He then strolled through the doors, down the hallway, and through the locker room one last time. I held my ground during the media push in front of his locker and sensed it was over for Jack in St. Louis. Was it fun to say goodbye to the fans today for the rest of the season at home?
The fans are just class act, and you just want to give them acknowledgement for sticking around. The game got kind of out of hand for a second, but for them to stick around and, to say goodbye, on the season, you want to acknowledge that.
On March 13th, 2013, Steven Jackson signed a 3-year deal with Atlanta, perhaps the final push for a Falcons run to the Super Bowl. Steven Jackson led the Rams with dignity, passion, effort, and courage. But all things must pass. Steven was a classy guy in the STL, and we're gonna miss you, Jack. That's our show for today. We'd especially like to thank our studio guests and the St. Louis Rams for making this show possible. We'd like to thank Artiga Photos for the pictures on our walls. I'm Todd Blackstock. Thanks for watching Inside Sports. We'll see you next time.